Morning. How to help your child with development. You don't know how. You would, if you knew how, you wouldn't be here, right? So that's your first thing. Second of all, you need to know how your child helps with or works with development. Can't say this enough. If you're questioning development, you're now worried. If you're questioning development, you're now concerned. If you're questioning development, it's not happening. And you're being told this really unreasonable skill of all babies are different. I'm sorry. You have to first of all evaluate your baby. That's just number one. Any person who is doing no evaluation, especially not seeing a video, only going off of reports or, because I see this in other groups, MRIs, EEG, and I'm like, where's the video? How? Because the main thing is with the video, or what I look for, is how is that baby or child or you processing movement, organizing around movement. And I say organizing around movement because when movement's not happening, now you're deviating, right? You can call it developmental delays, global delays, genetics, whatever it is. But when you're not in optimal development, you're deviating, right? So when people are looking for, oh, my baby always wants to fall down, or how do I stop the fall, or how do I balance better? All those things, all those conversations now, we're talking about prevention. Prevention's not development. Prevention is just another way around, well, I don't want this to happen, so I'm going to prevent it from happening. And that's why I get about swaddling and these birth videos. Listen, guys, I know I'm throwing up a lot of videos lately, but we got to learn this stuff. First of all, and that's going to be another topic is how are babies born? I mean, we have to go back to 101. How are babies born? A baby is meant to have a full-term vaginal delivery. Why? Because of contractions. Contractions is the first time that your baby is getting active and passive muscles. The active are the contractions, but still there's passive muscles within the uterus where the baby can get into position. Right? And so when the baby doesn't get into position, when the baby has the cord around their neck, all these things that people are now saying are typical, right? Now we have a deviation. So that's the first time where muscle movements are transferred over into the child, because in amniotic fluid, they don't have functional muscle movements. Muscles are growing, right? But they're not used to that. Second of all is you're meant to have a vaginal delivery because the first rotation, and also for a thing called cavitation. And this is in my Harvard paper, in my Harvard presentation, and I've been presenting it ever since though, but you are meant to have a subluxation of the skull. It's meant to happen a certain way for a palate strike to happen and that opens the foam in the lungs. So the foam in the lungs is meant to force out as atmospheric pressures come in, and you get that wah, or what we call as baby's first cry. And so seeing all these babies coming out of the womb right now, and they just aren't moving and so forth. But again, I don't know how they came out of the womb. People don't look at that. There's not one study out there that looks at birthing. And so when people also not question, but just, because I'm a why person too. Why are you saying stuff that's different? Why am I saying something that's different? Because a third of our kids are in delays of somehow. They have speech, they have dyslexia, all the way to developmental delays, global delays, genetics, and then we have birth traumas, which leads us into CP. So we have over 240 million kids in services that I can find out. And I know those numbers are way low because you're not going to get the same data collection, let's say, in communist countries and so forth. There are places that they just don't run a report, or places where the kids don't even go to school, right? If you look at the developmental delays of a 15-year-old, why are they twice as much in the United States than in a 5-year-old? Because you're not detecting it. You're not telling me the child was perfectly fine at 5 and then all of a sudden 50% are worse by 15. No, because again, these deviations continue to happen till they're here. Let's catch them ahead of time, but we've got to learn of how we can help our children. The biggest way we can help our children is to evaluate them. The newborn movement assessment is free. It can be done anytime, anywhere, to any age, right? But we have to, and then I have visual evaluation systems. I have birth evaluation systems. I have my CVI ranges. Everything like that. There's ways of scaling how you look at your child's development. I have birth to 1 year. I have your milestone charts. I know it might be a little bit of work, but a little bit of work now, you know what I mean, is a lot of work later. And so please, 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 you know, for people, and these posts that I'm posting that are really causing stress on people, I understand it, but at the same time too, what is the caption? Oh, cute baby. Oh, look at the cute twins. Oh, he's just a little bit more chill. What the heck? You know, I mean, like, why aren't you wondering why your baby's a little bit more chill? Why don't you want your baby being more active like the other one? That's just not how it works. You're not like little 45-year-olds. And so we need to encourage, the greatest gift you can give your child is movement. Period, the end. Movement. And when they can't move, they really don't say, "Ugh, I know this rolling over thing's really important, but like maybe next week, you know, I'm going to get to it." No, that's like cleaning your bedroom. So we really have to look at it. I don't want any more videos of babies not rolling by 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, when it should happen at 2.5 to 3 months. And when people go, "Oh, your modality is way too high on the scale." No, it's not. It's the way it should happen. When it's not happening, we need to get on it when they are a month old, when they're a day old. So that's my little Monday morning soapbox. And really, folks, please, 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 if you get one thing from me, I don't care where you do it, but A, it's movement, but B, so that's two things. Learn to evaluate your child. It's just really important. But for someone to just do a visual, especially of a picture or a report, and say, "Oh, I've seen kids like this before, they'll be fine." What's fine? If they're not going to the Olympics or judging to Harvard or Mount Everest, then that's not on my books. I do want excellent children, but I want your children to be, again, just optimal for where they're at. And yes, some things come into play that we can't work around, but that doesn't mean we can't improve movement at any level, at any age, right? That's just saying, like, I can't improve, like, just throw in the towel. I get it where there's autism and cerebral palsy and SMA and all sorts of things and scoliosis, and we go over them all the time, but we still can move better. We can be better. We can work on development at any age. And that's the whole purpose of life. Not here because you're on a group. It's the purpose of life. So, you know, we've got to learn to work with our children from day one, not day 15, not day 115, and certainly not day 615. You know what I mean? I'm not waiting for things to happen, and nor should you. You know, let's up the bar for everybody. Thanks, guys.